Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. I'm your host S.M. Hali, presenting another edition of Defense and Diplomacy. The much touted 26/11 Mumbai attack, 5 years have passed. India is still insisting that Pakistan was responsible for it. In fact, it has taken a number of actions which were against Pakistan, starting with cancelling of the composite dialogue process and trying to put the blame squarely on Pakistan. But fresh evidence is now available that it was apparently a homegrown act of terrorism. But let me not bomb the show, because I have two very eminent panelists who have their firm grasp on the affairs of India. We are honored to have in the studio today Makhdoom Babar, who is an Indologist who has not only carried out a study of various aspects, but the Mumbai attacks has brought about a book which is Unknotting the Knots, in which he has unraveled a number of the mysteries. Welcome to the show, sir. To tell our viewers what is the fresh evidence available in the Mumbai attacks case.
Well, it is very interesting that it becomes the onus of the accused party to provide the evidence when the accusing party fails to provide any solid evidence. It is very surprising that the Indians have miserably failed to provide any single evidence to prove that Pakistan or Pakistani institutions or non-state actors, whatever, were involved in Mumbai attack. And unfortunately enough, that it has become the responsibility of Pakistani media and Pakistani government to provide evidences that we were not involved. In this case, the evidences that have been dug by Pakistani media have already been surfacing in the international press and other places, relevant quarters. In my book, this Unknotting the Knots, in this book we have given a lot of latest evidences that have actually emerged from India. Not only this, but we have done a post-mortem of what the Indian dossiers say, what the Indian investigators' charge sheet says, and what Ajmal Kasab's statement,
his so-called confession,
that was actually a custodial confession. And we don't have to say anything. Here are three things. Indian media has constantly been saying, while talking to Pakistani media, that there has been no affidavit submitted in Indian Supreme Court by Indian official of Ministry of Home Affairs, Mr. R.V.S. Mani. Whenever they were asked that your official has stated in the Supreme Court that it was the Indian government that was behind not only 26/11 but also 2001 Parliament attacks, Indian media has been saying there is no such evidence. And how? Here is the evidence. This is the affidavit signed by Mr. R.V.S. Mani and coupled with this CBI report. This is the seal of CBI, this is their letterhead. We have got this evidence. This is the latest in this series. Coming to this is a report saying that Digvijay Singh, Secretary General of Indian Congress ruling party, on the floor of the House said that the head of the Joint Commissioner of Anti-Terrorism Squad of Mumbai, who was investigating Samjhota Express,
Hemant Karkare,
who was investigating Samjhota Express and Malegaon blast, he called Digvijay Singh before Mumbai attacks, hours before Mumbai attacks, and said that he was feeling very much threatened by Indian Army secret sections and Hindu extremist organizations for exposing nexus between Indian Army and Hindu extremist groups. And he was killed after a few hours in Mumbai attack.
In fact, if you permit, in this same article you have quoted Digvijay Singh that the moment he was informed of Hemant Karkare being successfully targeted by whoever it was, his first exclamation was that, oh my God, they have killed him.
Yes, and in the reports it has been proven that Hemant Karkare was the real target for 26/11. Now coming next, this is a report in which Mr. V.T. Raj Shankar, who is the ex-editor of Indian Express, talking to South Asian Institute, London South Asian Institute in 2012, he categorically stated on the record that it was no involvement from outside, but it was Hindu terrorist and Hindu extremist groups that were behind 26/11 attacks. Now, these are the evidences that are emerging from India, that are not being created by Pakistan or by creating
So
by
if,
Pakistan.
if you hold that thought, I'll just get back to you. Get back to you, Makhdoom Babar. Let's start with the so-called confession of Ajmal Kasab, the so-called lone survivor of this. You have poked a number of holes into this, and so has our judicial committee set up in Pakistan. Would you care to apprise our viewers about it?
Well, that confessional statement prepared by some very, very low-ranking official of Indian intelligence, it's very funny. It's like some muharrar of a police station in a remote area has framed a charge sheet. There's a number of loopholes in this.
Let's enumerate them, because it makes interesting reading.
Like, first of all, Kasab says that he is a school dropout from grade 4. From a remote village, what they say, Faridkot in Punjab. Now, we all know that in our village schools, how much one can be taught up till grade 3, because in grade 4 he was dropped out. Hardly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and numbers and Alaf, Be, Pe, A, B, C, D, not more than that. But in this case, Kasab turns out to be genius, that after being arrested, he narrates the address of a house hired by his father years back. He knows the lane number of that house. He remembers the name of the owner of that house. He remembers the number of that house, everything by heart, not written. He remembers every relative's phone number, mobile number by heart. Even I think you won't be knowing your wife's number by heart. You must have fitted it in your mobile set. But he remembers it. He remembers the name of a tent shop where he worked in Jhelum, with the area code of Jhelum, which even I don't know myself.
Including the cell phone numbers of the owner, his son, and so on. And mind you, you mentioned here that all this evidence indicate that he never even had a diary with him from where he could consult.
Never. No document was recovered from him. He knew all the postal address with all the details of all of his relatives. And then he says, I spent days at Dargah Ali Hajweri. Now, this is a term that is not used in Pakistan. We all call it Data Darbar or Data Saab. Dargah Ali Hajweri is a term that is used by Indians, Muslims of India, even non-Muslims of India. Dargah Ali Hajweri or Dargah Nizamuddin Auliya, this is a term they used. And most stunningly, at one stage he says that I was sent for particular training in Muzaffarabad. Muzaffarabad is capital of Pakistan occupied Kashmir. A person who says that he was, he was motivated for occupied Kashmir atrocities there, who is calling Azad Kashmir even Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So,
which is a term specifically used by Indians.
Indian establishment, not even the Indian media even calls it disputed Kashmir or something like that. But Pakistan occupied Kashmir is used by Indian establishment. Then he says that I was introduced to a person who was called Major General Sahib. Now, where the hell in the world you introduced at an informal gathering somebody as a Major General Sahib? You either call him General Sahib or you call him Colonel Sahib or whatever.
And this he mentions at the alleged training camp in Muzaffarabad.
Muzaffarabad and Mansehra. And then he says that Major General Sahib, I have mentioned it, that even in America or any other country, either a person at a ceremony, at a formal ceremony is used that is Major General so and so now coming, but in a social gathering, it is called Janasabha and no name.
You use a generic term.
Yes, but here the Indian intelligence wanted to convey to the global audience that an officer with the rank of Major General was overall supervising the operation. They had no name. Similarly, when this class 4 dropout, you know, he becomes a maritime genius in 3 days. He says he got the training, and when at one stage he says that when he was staying at a home in Karachi for a couple of days, he saw a magazine there which is published by so and so jihadi organization, and it had this much literature. This was the name of the magazine, this was the name of the publisher, and he was very much impressed. Now a class 3 dropout, class 4 dropout was very much impressed by the material of that magazine, and when he jumps onto the boat that was carrying him to India, that genius first of all dashed to the engine room and checked down what is the maker's company name. It's Yamaha or whatever, as if it was some other company. He would not have embarked on that voyage, and obviously whatever the name of the company was, it was written in English. But this class 3 dropout of a Faridkot village school could easily sign up that name. And then moving further, when he says that we reached there and we opened firing at a railway station, city station in Mumbai. After
no, and to start with, he says that they loaded all this stuff onto taxis. I mean, which Mumbai taxi will allow them to load so much of munitions, ammunition, and whatnot?
Now, here I have another point to raise, that Mumbai, oh my God, a heaven for underworld illegal weapons. Only a nonsense would do with it, that going to attack Mumbai and taking weapons from home with brand names of home country clearly written made in Peshawar or made in Pakistan, when such weapons were easily available on one phone call in Mumbai. I can, through a media sting operation, today prove it that within 2 hours you can get any weapon you want in Mumbai. They took all the weapons. Then he says that after we were done with firing at railway station, we had to leave for another location through Google Earth skills. This class 3 dropout, I am sure even you can't go to Lahore with a Google Earth map in your hand. If you can have to find some place in Lahore through Google Earth, I don't think even, at least I can't do it. He was to go to Google, to next spot through Google Earth searching, because he was trained for it. And then he says that we tried to open up a car. We had to steal a car from the parking, but unfortunately all the cars were locked and we couldn't open. He was so soft-hearted. Otherwise he was a butcher while killing people, but he was so soft-hearted that he never broke the window of any car to steal it. He said, then we started walking. We tried to get a taxi, but no taxi was available. We started walking, and suddenly we found another building. We entered to this building, and it turned out to be a hospital. We said, okay, we will kill people here, as if there was no plan at all, nothing to execute as per schedule. We entered that building, and there we opened fire, and we killed many people. And then police came. We killed cops there. We came out of the hospital. Another police car came. We killed all the cops there. We started moving.
And that point you make very, very eloquently about Taj and Oberoi, where he says that we were given instructions to spare the Americans and the Brits.
No, he says, in the statement, he says that we were getting instructions that kill American, Britons, Germans, Israelis. Now, it is something that a terrorist has to knock at the door, every room, ask them to show their passport, what is their nationality, and after that killing them. Similarly, he says that we were given instruction, don't kill any Muslim. So for that purpose, he has to check circumcision or whatever, I don't know.
Okay, let's ask the, just hold that thought. Let's ask the advocate.